It is now my honor to invite to the stage Terry Aldrich and Dorcas Denhartog, One Savage.
As Bill Beanie told you earlier tonight, Aaron was very serious about a 3-minute limit. I don't work here anymore. I can talk as long as I want. So Dorcas Denhartog, One Savage, was not what my colleagues would say a top recruit. As a matter of fact, she was the quintessential walk-on. I still remember the day very well when in 1983 she walked in my office and said, "Hi, Coach, my name is Dorcas Denhartog. I want to come out for your cross-country running team and your ski team if you think I'm good enough." I said, "Well, what's your experience?" And she said, "Well, I played lacrosse and field hockey in high school." I said, "Oh, that's good." She said, "But I did go out for skiing, but there was no snow in Hanover, there never is. And she said, I really didn't get much racing in." So I thought, well, here's a training log and a schedule of what we do for training. And we'll talk about it in the fall. Thinking I would never see her again. But oh, how wrong I was. So in the fall, she came bouncing into my office again. She said, "Hi, I'm Dorcas Denhartog. Do you remember me?" And I said, "With a name like that, how could I forget?" And I said, well, she wanted to know when practice started. And I said, "Practice starts Monday." And she said, "Well, here's my training log." And I was going to go home for dinner that night, but as Beth Ann can say, I was an hour late reading through the training log with the volume and the quality of the training that she had done that summer. So that first week, she trained with the team and ran with the women on the team, nothing really special. And then we had to have a time trial to go to Williams because we were traveling in vans in those days. We didn't travel in the buses that they travel in now. And we had to cut the team to 12. So she comes up to me before the time trial and she says, "Coach, I'm really nervous. I have no idea what my pace should be. I have no idea how fast I should run." And I said, "Well, we're very fortunate because on the team we have a woman by the name of Christina Ilgner, who's here tonight. She, by the way, was a 4-time All-American in the middle distance events in track." I said, if you can keep Tina in sight, you'll have a pretty good race." So the race went off. Tina finished first, and Dorcas finished that far behind her. And I said, this could be good. So now we go to Williams. Same thing. She comes up to me 5 minutes before the start. She goes, "I'm still nervous. I really don't know, what I should do. What should my pace be?" And I said, "Well, that time trial worked pretty well. Why don't you just keep Tina in sight? You might have a pretty good race." Great technical coaching there. And so she did. She finished. Tina was first. Dorcas was second, this far behind. I said, this could be really good. So they finished 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 all season till the New England Regional when they finished 2-3. And Dorcas went on in her first year of cross-country running, finished 14th at nationals out of 300 women. The next year, sophomore year, she won the conference championship, first in the NCAA regional, and 4th at nationals. The following year, won the conference, won the regional, and then had the most amazing race I think I've ever witnessed. It was at Emory College, hosted the NCAA championships. Stone Mountain, Georgia, the most difficult course I've ever seen, extremely hilly. And Dorcas used her strength on the hills, both the ups and the downs, to run away from the field. And it was a round of a corner. I happened to be at the finish at the time, and there was a long 200-meter straight to get to the finish. And I saw her come around the corner. I watched her come down the 200 meters. I watched her cross the finish line, and I looked up, and there was no one in sight. And I said, oh my God, she's cut the course. She got lost and cut the course. But she didn't. The rest of the field started to straggle in. Now, to win a national championship at that level, most margins of victory are 10 seconds or less. Dorcas won this race by 36 seconds. In the history of the event, only 2 other women have ever had a larger margin of victory. Well, she finished out her senior year by winning regionals, winning nationals. She ended up a 3-time conference champion, a 3-time New England champion, and had 3 All-American designations, and also had 3 course records, which may or may not have been broken up to this point. Now, if you think her success in cross country was impressive, it wasn't impressive compared to what she did in skiing. So she arrived and had really no experience, and so we started in that parking lot on the south side of Allen Residence. And I didn't dare put her out on the roads. I thought she'd end up hitting a car or something. But I think because of her experience in other sports, she picked it up really quickly. And before long, she was skiing with her teammates and qualified for the Middlebury Carnival team. So now she's racing 3 times a weekend. Friday for the college, Saturday for the college, and then we go to the Junior Olympic qualifiers on Sunday. So in her first year of competitive skiing for Middlebury, she qualified for the NCAA championships, finishing 21st. She qualified for the Junior Olympics a week later, and over in Lake Placid on the famed Russian Hill course, she won the gold medal. Absolutely incredible. Sophomore year, she got her first taste of international competition, qualifying for the World Junior Championships. Went to Europe and had the best performance by an American in that championships. Junior year, she solidified her reputation as being one of the top college skiers in the country with a 4th place finish in that event. And then her senior year, she continued to improve, was nominated to the All East first team, and then our department gave her the highest award that we have here at Middlebury, the Hazeltine Klevno Award, which is awarded annually when merited for the student athlete that best combines academic success and athletic success. Now, you would think that this graduation at Middlebury would be the end of her skiing career, but actually it was only the beginning. Dorcas qualified for the 1988, the 1992, and the 1994 Olympic teams. Her 23rd place finish in Calgary in the 20-kilometer race was the best female finisher from North America that year. She also anchored her team to 8th place in the relay. There's really no question in my mind that after 36 years of coaching here, she clearly is one of the most talented and gifted and dedicated student athletes I've ever had the privilege of coaching. She's here tonight with her husband, Paul, her dad, Stephen. Her son, Max, couldn't make it because guess where he is? He's waxing his skis for a ski race tomorrow. Gives me great pleasure to introduce Dorcas Denhartog.
Well, Aaron, you'll be glad to know that I think I can keep this short. Endurance athlete that I am, I'm rather introverted and spend long times out in the woods, on the roads, all alone, just me and my thoughts. So I'm not much of a conversationalist. In fact, I was probably on a training run for about, we were probably going to go out for 2 or 3 hours with one of my teammates. And about 45 minutes into it, she finally just turned to me and just said, "Would you just say something?" I hadn't realized I hadn't said a word since we left. So I think I can keep it short. When I came to Middlebury, I didn't know if I wanted to be a writer or a biologist, but I knew either when this was the place I could figure it out. I could find my voice either way. And unbeknownst, suddenly I found myself with a voice in my running. And the person who told me stories, was my coach, Terry. He kept us distracted, he kept us inspired, but most of all, he kept us focused on what was truly important about being here at Middlebury. And one of the stories I remember most that he told us was, and this is why I believe that Middlebury athletics has such a rich and successful history, because we were students first. Terry reminded us of that with a story. He was proud to be part of the New England Small College Athletic Conference, and he often told with great humor and appreciation the story of a fellow NESCAC athletic director. A national television had chosen to broadcast the annual football game with his college's traditional rival. The students in a town were all in a tizzy of excitement. They wanted to be seen, and so they hastily erected a set of bleachers so that more fans could come watch the game. Disgusted at what he thought was the loss of perspective, the athletic director, the night before the game, drove down to the field, hitched his pickup truck to the temporary bleachers, and pulled them down. "This college is about academics first, not athletics," he told Terry. And Aaron, I am glad to see that this field house is a little more strong and should be able to withstand any pickup truck you might try and push it over with. But yes, we were strong because we were students first. And certainly this field house, this complex is here. We're here because of the tremendous professors and the programs we have here at Middlebury that helped us along and realized that we needed to have a sound mind as well as a sound body. So I want to say thank you to one of my Russian language professor, Professor Bayer, who made an exception in my case and let me take my Russian language tapes out of Sunderland so I could put them in my Walkman and listen to them in the van going to and from ski races and running races. And probably one of my proudest moments was when I had a younger teammate come back and report to me later on that when she told her Professor Bayer that she was a cross-country skier, he said, "Oh, Dorcas Denhartog, horasha, very good." Made me feel more proud than winning any race. And I want to say thank you to Tom Root, who was my biology professor. He helped me mentor my independent study of human exercise physiology. So with this, I learned more about how I should train as an athlete, and I couldn't have been more prouder either of my C+ in my biology cells and organelles class with lab that I passed and celebrated, of course, with a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream on Otter Creek. I think it was coffee Heath Bar Crunch. So the Middlebury experience is rich because of these opportunities for us to make connections with our academics and our athletics, between the heart and the body and the mind. Now, probably my most proud moment too was just this evening when, having retired from cross-country skiing and cross-country running many years ago, I've since been able to coach some wonderful student athletes myself, both cross-country running and cross-country skiing. And tonight, one of those students came up to me, freshman now at Middlebury College, recruited to play lacrosse, probably like I probably was, but now also running for Middlebury, as well as playing for Missy. And I've seen things come full circle now that Liesl is here at Middlebury, and I can't wait to send more runners and skiers to Middlebury as well. Thank you.
Good job, Kip. Nice job. I guess you got a little practice.
Yes, thanks, Dorcas. Great job. Thank you very much. So we'll step forward now.